the stats.
That it's two really evenly matched teams, Fish. We're looking at our scoreboards here, and you can tell that, it's only one win and one loss that separate both, right? Clearly these are two teams that are angling for playoffs. They're getting tuned up, ready to go. We're at that point in the season where teams are just trying to get everything fine-tuned, ready to go for that next step. And I think these are two teams that can potentially go all the way here on the rival tier. So very excited to see who comes out ahead in this one, or with the tie. The 2-2 is always a distinct possibility.
Yeah, I've just noticed there on the bottom, saves against. Sea Fury have also had 40 more of their shots saved than Surge had, and you couple that with their goals, and they must be having like an incredible amount of shots per game. This will be an offensive battle. Can Surge park the bus enough to get a result here, or will Sea Fury's offensive be too much? Taking a look at these stats, it seems like we've got an obvious starting three for both of these teams, and it looks like based on the lobby, that's who we're going to get tonight. Jokey and Trano not in the lobby, but it doesn't look like there's any carries on either of these teams either. The stats pretty even. Sea Fury running at over a goal per game per member. Wonder the midfield maestro with that amount of assists. What about these? What about this Surge team?
Yeah, and I'm taking a look here, and it's a little bit more lopsided on the Surge end. You can see that Team on there tends to take a little bit more of a third man role just based on the stats, slightly lower goals and assists per game than his two counterparts, Numbers and Typhoon. So it'll be interesting to see, how that two-pronged attack versus all three members rotating in, how that plays out on the pitch. But speaking of, I'm pretty sure we've got everyone in here, and they've been waiting for a moment. As we're, oh, just kidding, I lied. As soon as I said it, I had to do a remake. It's all good. We're hanging out here on RSC Solar, but yeah, I think the Surge can do a number, but it's going to depend a lot, I think, on Timon's holding down that back line, making strong saves, and distributing the counterattack to his two teammates. If the Surge can do that, I think they'll come out with a victory, but again, only one way to find out, really.
Yeah, Timon's not looking like a player who necessarily parks the bus, doesn't even have as many saves as his other two teammates, but maybe he's just in that facilitator pseudo-turbo pulsar role. We'll see if he can fill it tonight. You won't want him shooting because he's not nearly as efficient as anybody else on the field.
But no, I think it should be, again, a really interesting series. It's always fun when you have two really strong teams coming together. We do like to see the best of each tier come out represent on the stream, and I'm sure that there are fans of both teams hanging out in the chat. So everyone get excited, get loud, get ready to go, because we're almost there. I promise. I'm pretty sure we've got our lobby back up and going. I have to get back in it. That's the big one for me.
They've switched up the lobby info on us.
Of course.
Osprino and I get set to rejoin this lobby. Let's get loud and rowdy in the chat. Bust out your visual audio for us. This is going to be a good matchup, real top of the table in Rival. And I say let's get it going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As I am in there. So we're ready, we're set, we're good to go. This is the Sea Fury in the blue, the Surge in the orange. Fresh clock, no games on the scoreboard. Feast, let's get into it.
Let's start off. It's going to be really interesting if Sea Fury can get that advantage going quickly with Wonder on their team. An X-Pro, maybe, hint, hint. Get the offensive going quickly. The kickoff goes in favor of Surge, though. A little bit of time for Dummy in the corner. He tries to hit him midfield. Far past Typhoon. Timon's out to the wall. You can already see Timon's just trying to make things a little bit easier for his teammates. Not sure how efficient that was, but Surge continue their push here. Almost resulted in something if not for Impaler on the goal line. And Timon's just intercepting in midfield. Pretty even so far, 30 seconds in. No way to know how this is going to go.
Yeah, and there's always a bit of a feeling out period in the beginning, but I like what both teams are showing already. It's Timon's almost at the top corner. Number with the follow can't get it, but it's Typhoon. The 1-2-3 is effective for the Surge, and they get ahead early here.
What a flurry of shots from Surge. You see this kind of thing all the time in Rival. Just pummel that thing off the backboard and eventually someone will actually put it in. But it can be risky because if the third player doesn't hit that shot, it's open nets on the other side for Sea Fury. Surge take the lead. Do they park the bus here? What's their style?
playing from the goal back early can be tough, but there's still so much time left. You can't let it get to you. We'll still see plenty of good offense from C Fury as here gets to the goal number one. The pass to Wonder is good, and he gets by the last man. Wonder is good. Straight back in it for C Fury. Last man.
Early showing of that offensive power from C Fury. Dumby launched in midfield to Wonder. Typhoon feels like he has to commit, and his teammates are nowhere to be seen returning on either flank. It's a really good equalizing goal from C Fury, and if they can do that for the rest of the series, I don't know if they'll have any problem with this. Although good, maybe not as offensively strong Surge team.
Yeah, I love that touch from Dumpy there. He gets the flick going, but he doesn't hit it too hard. You notice that he takes a really soft touch and allows his teammate to take the touch.
Wow.
And there he is. Right, I was just praising his assist, and there he goes. He gets one for himself.
Here they go, switching roles. Wow, excellent midfield passes so far from Wonder and Dumby, trading assists, handing each other plates. And C Fury, they're looking strong so far. Surge's defense, although looking so good from their season stats, I don't know if it'll be good enough for the C Fury team just off the first 80 seconds of gameplay. Looking really strong on their team offense. Here's Numbers in the corner trying to make a play out. Dumby hits the ball back in. Typhoon can read it. This will be another push for C Fury just in the corner. Impaler trying to read it. Wonder pushed it off the corner. Team Ons, what can he do here? Good infield pass to ease the pressure from Numbers, but it goes nowhere. Impaler hits it out to Dumby. It's a smart back pass back to Wonder. Really just a sort of a midfield battle, except for some individual moments.
Would have been a great goal from Wonder there if he got that to go, but yeah, I think the C Fury have done a good job of being, as advertised, getting all three players moving on the offense, going all the way down the field. Wonder had the flip reset, but couldn't, again, get it to go. He's gone for a couple of really advanced techniques there. He just hasn't been able to get the goal. He's certainly keeping the Surge on the back foot, though. His Numbers gets the flick by one, but Dumby, across the front post, gets there in time, and we keep the same scoreline.
I really like Wonder there, just getting his teammate just enough time, even though the flick went over his head. There was enough time for his teammate to get back and make the save. Dumby now trying to play offense. Hits that ball off the backboard. Impaler's going to hit it off the backboard. They're mimicking Surge's tactics from the early moments of the game, and it almost pays off. Wonder still keeping possession. Dumby's in midfield, but gets bumped out. Wonder playing it back in, and it's Numbers with the clear. Early pressure from C Fury, but it's still Surge with the more shots in the game. 4 from Numbers. Hasn't been able to convert any yet. Strong defense on the C Fury side.
Yeah, and we saw some good goals early on, but the game has definitely slowed down a bit. There goes one past the last defender, Typhoon. Classic caster curse. Sorry about that one, boys, but Numbers gets a great touch on it, forces a tough clearance, and Typhoon just in a great spot, tucks it right behind the defender.
Definitely happens. Dumby on the goal line doesn't feel like he has any choice. Plays it out to midfield. And Impaler doesn't hold his back post positioning, veers towards the middle of the goal, and whether purpose or on accident, Typhoon places that behind him and it goes in. Really good goal from the Surge. Now that they've equalized it, we'll have to see what they do to try to get that lead back that they had in the early moments. Wonder playing it only out to Typhoon, and he puts it back post again. C Fury a little bit positionally all over the place, and although both teams have shown their assertiveness now on the Surge side, C Fury, they were looking so good and almost looking to run away with it with those 2 early plays, but Surge with 9 shots now and 3 goals taking the lead. Can they push through the rest of this game and take game 1?
Going to be a bit of a challenge. I want to give some credit to Timons on that play there, just going through the front post and taking the defender out of the play, really opened up that angle on the backside, facilitated that goal using that physicality to get ahead. Really, really smart from the Surge. Just under 90 seconds to play now. It's going to be tough for the C Fury here to get back into this one, but that may be of assistance. Wonder with a touch into the middle. Impaler's there, but good defense by Numbers. Makes the interception. Dumby still on it, but Timons with the touch away. And the offense has dissipated for the moment for the C Fury.
Yeah, really interesting midfield battle. It really is those little individual moments, and otherwise not too much to show from either side. Honestly, Surge have had a lot of shots. Still 9 on the board, same as earlier. But I can't remember any of them being particularly dangerous, except the ones that actually went in. Numbers tried to make something happen there. Dummy tries to put it in midfield, but Typhoon plays spoiler, and now he's going to go up again, see what he can make of this. puts in the corner, and it was back out to no one, but Numbers is there. Not enough power to get past Wonder. See if Dumby can play it out. A little dangerous with Timon's committing that strong. Now Typhoon's committed strong. No one back for Sea Fury, but they do get the clear. And now maybe a push on their side. Timon's can only put it back in midfield. Dumby trying to hit it up. Wonder will follow this one. Doesn't beat with only 10 seconds remaining. This is Sea Fury's surely the last push of the game. Wonder putting it in midfield. Nobody there to read it except Numbers with the save. Timon's is going to try to clear it out, probably put it on the ground, and that's excellent end of game play. And Surge wins game 1.
Excellent game there at the end from the Surge. They had it a little bit rough early. They conceded those 2 goals, but they really found a way to get back into it. Again, I want to give a shout out to Timon's. It's very easy to point out, okay, Typhoon has the hat trick, right? Numbers got up there on the assists, but Timon's just running that interference, doing such a good job. He bossed that midfield. He had the really nice bump for the go-ahead goal at the end there, just making himself available to do whatever's necessary to get the Surge ahead. And they come with a game 1 victory, but Fish, I think this is a really, really close game, and I think it's going to be indicative of a close series. The Sea Fury are nowhere near out of this.
No, not at all. That could have gone either way. Sea Fury just couldn't hold that assertiveness they had in the early moments. It's interesting here. We see the 2 types of enablers and really why points don't matter. Timon's just as strong a showing as Numbers, but Numbers with 3 saves and 6 shots, and Timon's with none on both of those. So that's a really, really interesting point there. Again, this was our first of 4 games. In RSC, we have 4-game series, which could theoretically end in a draw. Not too exciting for those more familiar with American sports than soccer or football. But as we get into game 2 here, it's really looking like, with the evenness of these teams, it could end in a 2-2 draw.
Certainly could, but we're going to have to get game 2 underway here to see if that is the case. As we mentioned, the Surge came back into that one, found their victory in game 1, and now Sea Fury need some kind of response as Impaler picks up through the midfield, looking to follow his own touch, has a read on it, but not on target. Still, the ball in a dangerous location, and it's going to be Dumby who gets up and after that one. There you go. There's your response, Fish. Sea Fury getting on the board early.
There's your trademark rumble play, and it's Wonder to Dumby again. A speculative ball off the backboard, but Dumby really makes the most of it, comes across and cuts off the angle to go back towards the back post again, and Surge just couldn't see it coming. Really a great shot, but a result of backboard pressure again. You just don't see enough backboard defense in this tier, and that's why that's so special so often. Dumby putting that one up, trying to make a little bit more possession happen again, and Typhoon with the clear. Wonder now trying to play out from the back, only could put it into Numbers' hands. The Numbers will follow again here, can't put it anywhere except into the face of Dumby. Timon's acting in his role, putting it back towards midfield, just being that softener of the play, trying to ease his team's pressure. Numbers putting it back in, it's to no one except Impaler, launches it forward. Dumby's there trying to read it again, ever the shooter. Dumby's just looking all over these loose balls, and Surge got to keep control of that, or Dumby's going to score a bunch more of them.
Yeah, and you gotta love the confidence from Dumby there, just to go for it, right? You have to force the opposing team to respect your ability to get after them. Exactly what Dumby's doing.
Oh, this could be a chance for Wonder. Oh, Timon's had respawn quick enough, but Numbers with a great bump as well. Dumby cuts off that Timon's aerial. It's only straight back into the hands of Surge, but again, they just throw away possession back into Wonder, intercepting a lot of balls. Timon's launches it forward again, easing that pressure. He's going to follow again. This could be a chance, but there's no one there in midfield for Surge. Now it's Sea Fury with more pressure. Bouncing up the corner. Wonder will have a shot here. Timon's does well to hold his position. Just backflip that out of the goal line. Now they'll follow. See if Numbers can play this out. Loses possession here to Wonder. He's going to boom it off the backboard. And it's a double commit from Surge. And Impaler went for it. Couldn't get to it. Dumby went for it. Shot, but 2 players in the middle of the goal there for Surge. And a lot of pressure here from Sea Fury. They don't have that many shots on the board. Still 3 to the Surge's 2. But they're looking stronger offensively than they were last game.
They're forcing a few mistakes out of the Surge here as they're really forced to stay back on defense. We've seen a couple of double commits. The Surge, I think, have been lucky thus far to not be punished for it. finally that clearance from Timons, I think, will buy them some time.
Ooh.
Gets a demo as well, so it's going to allow that reset to happen and adjust rotations. But again, really strong sequence for the Sea Fury, but no goal at the end of that. It may come back to haunt.
No, by this point, last game Surge already were almost reaching double digits in shots. Thus far, they've only got 2 to Sea Fury's 4. Wonder just put up the 4th there for the save from Typhoon, who's going to follow this ball on the sidewall. It's only straight to Wonder in the corner. He's got a whole field ahead of him. What does he have in his aerial ability? 1, maybe 2 flip resets. Doesn't quite come off. It's Dumby now with the fall off the sidewall, only into Typhoon, who puts it straight back into Impaler. Dumby trying to read the pass, almost gets across to it, but he does eventually get the goal. And Dumby is just on the end of everything, even the balls that don't really look like passes. That one definitely on purpose, though. Just fall into his hands and then end up being something. Timon's a little bit unlucky there to sort of put it in his own net, but Dumby is just... his speed is too much for this Surge team right now.
Yeah, he put himself in a really good spot there, and Taylor had basically a free look to get that ball at Dumby. He took a really nice soft touch and elevated it as well. He keep that out of the way of the defender. Doing a really nice job, but down the other end, it's Timons getting over the top of the defense and putting the goal in. So the Surge conceded one, but they come right back, and Timons just so speedy gets that goal, and they are not out of this one.
Well, it's a rare goal for Timons, who's also got 2 saves and 2 shots to his name this game. And he just reads that those 2 Sea Fury players were double committing, and also neither of them in a particularly good positioning. His speed just too much as Timons racks up another save there on the savior position now. Really saving his team. 5 saves on the Surge end so far. Sea Fury with 7 shots, only turned 2 of them into goals. They're going to have to put maybe 1 or 2 more on the board if they want to keep hold of this game, because Surge are going to be wanting it in the last minute here.
Absolutely, and that's an unfortunate touch from the Sea Fury. It's so much pressure. They concede it now off the backboard. Does that ball end up in a dangerous spot? No, and Palin first to it for the Fury. As we are under 60 seconds to play here, the Sea Fury continue the barrage on the net. It's Dumpy over the top, but he gets bumped out of it.
Ooh.
And Impaler doesn't want to go for that. 30 seconds, last man, doesn't want to risk it for the goal. They're playing it very conservative, very smart at the end of the game.
This is really good game management from Sea Fury, just keeping the ball in the Surge half, rolling it over the net, not really even particularly going for goal, just putting it there. But they lose possession here. Dummy gets a demo worth nothing. Timons is going to play it out, see what he can create. It's off the backboard again to nobody, and nobody really in midfield either. As Numbers and Typhoon sort of call each other off there and lose possession, Dumby pummels it forward again. Numbers with not the touch you want to see, losing with 5 seconds left. Dumby tosses it towards net. Timons makes the save, his 4th of the game. And it's unfortunate that in Timons, maybe one of his most efficient defensive games either, and adding a goal to his name, doesn't come up with a win and makes this series 1-1.
Yeah, but I think it was a really strong team performance from the Sea Fury that put them over the top there. Dumby, of course, being on the end of the 2 goals, but really all 3 players of the Sea Fury rotating through the offense very efficiently, very smart. They managed that game really, really well. Just getting all 3 players involved and moving the ball across the pitch. They had so much pressure on the Surge through the beginning and middle portions of that game. Just constantly putting them under duress. The game could have been, an even more disparate scoreline, I think, if the Sea Fury just converted a few more of those chances.
I just think it's interesting here. I was talking about the 2 types of enablers last game with Timons and Numbers. This time it's Timons with all the saves and all the goals, and Numbers with almost nothing on the board. Unfortunately, it goes the other way for their team. Impaler, not looking out of place on the field, but not being particularly efficient so far. Didn't have any saves or goals in either of the first games so far, I don't think. Bottom of the scoreboard for his team both times, but it worked in that second game and could have worked in game 1. So we get into game 3 here, and a lot of casters will tell you that game 3, this is the one where the teams have felt each other out. On this circumstance, they've both gotten a result. Now we really see who tries to take it, and in the first 5 seconds, it's Numbers. No goals last game, makes his name known this game. And a little bit of a fake there from Typhoon, but Numbers ends up putting it past and getting that early lead for the Surge, which they're going to need.
Yeah, and it's just really smart off the kickoff there. You saw, I think it was Wonder for the Fury on the side foot, just unsure which direction to go after he gets the boost. And an effective 2v1 situation for the Surge. Played it really smart, left to the player with a better shooting angle and gets it by the last one. So, again, smart from the Surge. They'll be happy with the early lead, but
Oh,
it's so early. And, it's hard to win the game off of the goal that comes in the first 5 seconds.
you already see another passing play there, another passing play from the Sea Fury. They've been doing this all series long. Impaler just couldn't get the shot off. But if they can come up with another couple of those and maybe get them on the car of Dumby instead of, unfortunately, Impaler, who hasn't scored a goal all game, Dumby's running hot, then Sea Fury will score a couple of goals this game and get themselves back on top. But it's Surge with the lead now, and Timon's playing the ball out in midfield. Typhoon will take control. This is a three-man offensive from the Surge. Typhoon does put it in midfield, but for some reason, his teammates back off, and that could have turned into something for Surge. Numbers plays it back in midfield. Timon's with a really smart turn and challenge. Typhoon just gonna get a push up here. Can't quite beat Wonder, but Wonder loses possession. It's back into Numbers. Timon's is gonna play a ball there. Impaler just misses it, leaves it for Wonder. Dumby maybe got a chance here off the sidewall for something special. He's in the air. He's dribbling. Typhoon ends up clearing it out. Wonder plays it back. It really is a little bit of pinball now, back and forth. Neither team really making the most of their chances, but it could still go either way.
Absolutely could. I think the Sea Fury are still doing, overall, a really good job of rotating through plays and just moving the ball across. You can see it on the outlet here. It's going to be touched up to Taylor, who gets it forward to Dumby. Can't quite connect, but they continue to go that route. I think
Could be a chance.
well, but oh goodness, Timon's looking for the goal there. He was one-on-one. Very last second, gets turned aside at the goal line. It's good defense from the Sea Fury.
Yeah, and they've needed it so far. Timon's with 3 shots, turned none of them to goals, and it's Wonder going the other way who's going to equalize the game. That's been really even, and that's probably what Sea Fury deserve. Wonder just reads this loose ball in midfield, sees that Timon's is out of position, probably like the equivalent of 20 yards out from goal, and he can't get back for that power on Wonder's shot. It's really smart play from Wonder. That's what the Sea Fury needed. None of their team plays, none of their offensives were working. And in the end, it's a loose ball that gets them the equalizer and puts this game back on even standing.
Yeah, you have to punish a mistake when you see it. Typhoon was just in an awkward spot there. You couldn't really get a read on that one in midfield. And, that's just sometimes how you got to score. You gotta
What a triple commit.
Yeah, speaking of, the 3 defenders committed on that one over the backboard. It's not the best thing ever, but the Sea Fury will hold on for a moment. It looks like they've picked up enough of possession. It's not going to cost them.
Triple the commit is triple the chance of clearing the ball, some will tell you. But Numbers here, only 1 on the back line, but it's Wonder who does enough. Clearing it back out, and actually it's far enough again. Well, whether Wonder's gotten a little bit fortunate, it's been wonderful for him so far. Timon's again out of position in midfield. Just can't get back to a ball that's floating perilously into his own net. And Sea Fury take the lead in somewhat unconventional fashion. For all the offensive power they've shown, it's a little bit strange for them to take the lead in this game off of really what are 2 positional mistakes.
Yeah, and I think Timon was actually going for the bump in midfield there. I think he was maybe anticipating that the challenge was going to come through. It just did not. And, even though he gets that bump in midfield, it just puts him so far forward. He can't get back to that. Credit to Wonder for beating his man on the challenge and putting it on frame. It's not the easiest thing to do to get both the clearance and the shot on target. But he's got it twice now, really, and that's the difference in this game.
Good save from Wonder, really running this game for the Sea Fury. That makes his tally 3 on the saves, gives him that savior badge. And Surge, they'll be frustrated. They've muted Sea Fury's calculated offensive attacks so far, and are only losing due to a couple of positional mistakes. Timon's not putting himself in great positions for either of those goals. And Surge will really be wanting to equalize them, because it's a frustrating way to be behind. Typhoon puts this one off the backboard. Sea Fury a little bit out of position. Now there's a demo. Wonder just clears that one only to Numbers, and that goal's open. Can Timon's put it in? Well, Paler comes across fast enough. That's good from Paler, but Timon's in the right place at the right time with a great pass in chat. He just sticks that one right where it needs to go. Typhoon, whether he saw him or whether it was on accident, you can never be sure in this ring. Sees Timon's in front of the goal. He just turns his car with that instinct and doinks it in towards the middle of the net. Sea Fury couldn't handle it. 43 seconds to go, and it's equal yet again.
Yeah, and it needed the touch. Credit to Timons for being aware of the position of the pass coming in and where the goal was. Because if he doesn't get that touch, I don't think that ball goes in. There was a defender coming across the line. So Timons is going to get the surge level in this game. 30 seconds to go. It's a great pass from numbers, but very, very solid defense from the Sea Fury. It was wonder that time on the goal line who found the touch, but they had pretty much every angle covered.
Oh, Sea Fury, I don't know if there'll be another mistake from Surge. Sea Fury might have to come up with something special to win this game. Dumby needed a save there. Wonder wanted to follow it off the backboard. In the end, didn't get it. Turns into a pass that Impaler needed to be quick enough to read. Typhoon floats that ball in midfield. It's Wonder with a clear. Number still on it. Timon's maybe looking for a touch. In the end, it hits the ground, and overtime in Game 3, the first overtime in the series, who's going to take it?
Hard to say, but I think if the Surge continue to play smart, I think they can close this out. They've had the better of the chances, I think, with numbers. Going to toss it up. Smart defense from Taylor's going to slow it down. Timon's out of the corner, but defended by Wonder. So already the challenges are good for the Sea Fury, but they are under pressure. Dump can't get the read.
Oh no!
Typhoon's there, but it goes in the corner. Numbers back in the middle, looking for it, but still it's chaotic in front of the net. Sea Fury having a tough time getting out of this one. Oh, that's just it.
Oh no! Wow. Well, it's Sea Fury who were capitalizing on the positional mistakes from Surge earlier, and it's Dumby, well known for his offensive power, doesn't hit that one. And in overtime, that is a mistake you can't afford to make, as it just floats in the far corner. And Surge, in unconventional fashion, Timon's with a mind-blowing 9 shots on the board. They somehow take Game 3.
Yeah, I think Timons was listening to us in the build-up to this series and was saying that he's more of a facilitator. He's turning out to be the goal scorer in this series. He had a really nice redirect there, to send the game into overtime. And he was applying so much pressure, as you said, 9 shots to his credit. So Timons really enabling that Surge offense, making it difficult for the Sea Fury. I was kind of surprised by the stifling of Sea Fury's counterattack, because in the previous game, the Fury were the one applying all the pressure. In Game 3, it was the complete opposite story.
Yeah, now we see in Game 4, final game in the series, we'll see how it's going to switch up. Sea Fury, I'd be so frustrated if I were them. But just to reiterate, last short, but Timon's 9 shots, everybody else on the field combined, 9 shots. Timon's absolutely ran that game. I doubt he'll replicate it, but he might need to. Sea Fury will be angry as Dumby gets that first goal early on in the game. Sea Fury will be upset having lost that last game, and maybe they'll want to put on an offensive showing. So we'll see who comes up big for the Surge, if they want to take the game, the series win, or if it'll end up being a draw if Sea Fury take this game. But it's 1-0 early days for Sea Fury.
Yeah, it's still the same story, though. The Sea Fury just capitalizing on mistakes. There were 2 players in midfield on that kickoff for the Surge going for that ball. Neither can come to touch, and it's just a really open look for Dumby. Give him some credit. He goes bar down, right? It's a really nice shot, but again, just really capitalizing on the mistake. I want to see if the Sea Fury can generate some more of their own play here as Dumby gets a second touch there out of the corner, so he may have a third even, gets all the way across, but Typhoon gets it under control, pass out to Numbers, cannot make the clearance. So the Surge will wait in front of their own net, see if they can break the Sea Fury's attack as this nice touch from Dumby again.
Wow.
Post.
Wow. Sea Fury have absolutely suffocated Surge in the last 30-40 seconds or so, and that loose ball off the sidewall played back into midfield. Dumby with such a good shot from that almost midfield line. really asserts his team's dominance here. And if they play like that for the rest of the game, there's no doubt this is going to turn into a 2-2 draw. And maybe make it seem how fortunate or how well Surge have played to be in the lead in the series at this point. Sea Fury looking excellent so far in this game 4, and they really want at least some kind of result from this series.
Most certainly, and I think a 2-2 would be fair to both sides, but still
Yeah.
so much time left in this game. We're only passing the first 90 seconds of play here. Although it has been the Sea Fury out in front early, we've seen how quickly the Surge can get forward and put those shots on target. So nowhere near the finish. That one was dangerous. Paler had the demo, but nothing from it.
Almost something there on that offensive push. Sea Fury not giving Surge hardly any time in their half. That boom out there from Surge was the one time they've exited their half, really, in the first 2 minutes. Sea Fury have been so quick on the 50s, and not only making those challenges, but winning them too. And we can see the result is Surge there almost resulted in something for Sea Fury, but looking so confused on the goal line. Their Numbers wins a challenge, but it's straight into the body of another Sea Fury player. And Wonder is going to play this forward. Speculative maybe, but Numbers is on the goal line to the save. Dumby plays it back in. Wonder's there. So is Numbers. Numbers trying to play this forward. And Paler intercepts, plays it off the corner back into Wonder. Really good defensive play. But it's Teamons with the interception, and Typhoon off both posts and out. And that's really what you hate to see with half the game gone and 2 goals down. And it's Sea Fury with a demo offensive here and a bump as well. And Surge and Sea Fury both surviving offensive pushes there. What a game this is turning out to be.
Oh, and Typhoon has another look at it, and he can't get it to go. It's just so unfortunate. That's twice now he's been unlucky off the post. The first attempt was so good. He was in a great spot, just trying to get that in there. And
Ooh.
still the Surge must press on. They have 2 goals down here with just under 2 minutes to play, but they've had a couple of decent looks. I think they're starting to feel a little bit more confident in getting something going as Teamons forces the challenge and Paler makes a save. Numbers up high in the midfield, but can't get the touch going forward. So here comes Typhoon again, just getting another touch. Doesn't have the boost really to work with, but Teamons help him out. That's a dangerous ball. 2 players commit, and the Sea Fury don't have the best of reads on it, but that one from Paler is going to be enough to dissipate the Surge forward.
It's turned out a little bit more even here, a little bit more end-to-end. Both teams having more looks at goal. Again, Sea Fury really dominated the early stages, but they've still only got 4 shots in their name. While Surge, almost at even as 3, as Typhoon should probably have scored 2 of those and just got a little bit unlucky on both occasions. And it's him that tries to play the ball forward there. Dumby intercepts and Numbers plays it forward. Teamons can't get a good shot off on that pass. Wonder makes the clear and he tries to follow it again. Numbers plays it towards goal and Dumby in